member of parliament just signed with an influencer agency. But before you go,
hey, see me side, are we going to see house tour of the parliament house soon?
Well, Sean, because you might be misread, yeah. Here's everything about MP Karen Tan's recent signing with Gas Crowd International. Simplify and summarize for you. Turn on the CC if you don't understand my sense, you idiot. So, in case you didn't know, Karen Tan Hui Ming, whose name is similar to 6 of your primary school classmates and 3 of our secondary school classmates, is an MP in Nisun GRC. She was one of the first newbies announced in 2020 and had taken over popular MP Lim B Wang, formerly known as Ah Hua Jie. Back then, we remember her as the MP who ran the charity, was even mentioned by Obama. Not only that, she has tattoos, not exactly an image of a typical MP since for some reasons, MPs in Singapore didn't even dye their hair. Salah lah. Got MP dye hair one meh? A lot lor. Then why still got so many grey hair MPs? The question is, why still got so many black hair MPs? We there. Or you might remember her as the MP who spoke her mind after she publicly said it's fine if people say she was wayang for picking litters shortly after she was elected. So what happened to Karen Tan? Here's the thing, she kind of got Tim Pei Lin. Unless you live under a rock, you know that Tim Pei Lin is no longer associated with Kate Spade but with a full-time job. You might not even know what full-time job your dad is doing, but you know what full-time job Tim Pei Lin is doing now. Cause everyone is very kepo about her full-time job. What has it got to do with Karen Tan? Just like Tim Pei Lin and other MPs that don't work in the government, she has a full-time job. But unless you know like Dr. Tan Wu Ming from Jurong GR, yeah, so unlike Dr. Tan Wu Ming, who is a full-time doctor, so the public don't really focus on what he did for his full-time job. Some MP have jobs that people kepo one. Karen Tan ran the charity, so by right, no one focus on her full-time job. But here's the thing, she's also a life coach. Kind of it's actually more of a transformative coach, but the idea is the same. You engage her to transform your life. Here's the thing, when your job is to do that, you need publicity. You need to cast the net wide and market yourself. So what happened is that in order to do that, she worked with an agency, Gas Crowd International, for them to manage and represent her, which leads to, of course, this optics. An MP just engaged an agency, which also manage and represent influencers to manage her. Yeah, and Gas Crowd even send a media statement to the media. So what come to your mind immediately? Karen Tan then clarified in an interview that for her MP duties, she still run it by herself with her volunteers and highlight that she has always made a clear distinction between my work and on the ground as MP and my private practice. Now, why is this news? Simple. It's become another Tim Pei Lin issue. Cause by right, it's very common for individuals or companies to engage an agency to help them manage or represent them. But because many of us didn't know that and think that every post by our idiots are posted by them, so you kind of get the illusion that this isn't common. So you might even use the misused phrase conflicts of interest. Cause if you want the bestest example, just look at Ng Kok Song. He's also managed by Gas Crowd, and heck, Soviet Chang was even involved in his campaign. Therefore, if you get triggered, go and TUC Fair Price buy a Kikapo to drink and relax. If not, you might need to look at each MP and find some so-called conflicts of interest with them, and you'll find easily in Jurong because one MP is the same as the other. So if one MP represents Jurong resident and the other represents Jurong, who is Sean going to represent? Which Sean? Which Jurong? Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. If you think I've learned something, consider subscribing and also watch this video to be smarter.